Lamar Jackson has 4 years in now. Didn't get a contract last year. Represents himself. We'd consistently heard he's just not engaging with the Ravens. And the Ravens, I think, had been a little careful about coming out and saying it. Yesterday, Eric DeCosta pretty much came out and said it. Here he is talking about Jackson's contract.
We will work at Lamar's urgency. So he and I have had ongoing discussions. We've talked fairly recently as well. He knows how to find me. I know how to find him. I was very happy to see him working out on the West Coast recently with some of our guys. That's exciting. It's something that we really think will help us this year be the very best team that we can be. He's a guy that when we think about the Ravens 3, 4, 5 years from now, we envision Lamar being a very, very big part of that team and definitely a player that can help us win Super Bowls.
They can't get his attention. They can't get him to engage.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Negotiations.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Because he's already lost
crazy.
money. But here's the problem. Has he lost money? I don't know, because he won't engage. And if it's deliberate, it's genius. Because the Ravens are discombobulated. They would much rather deal with an agent. Even if the agent would hold their feet to the fire and make them pay more, at least they would be able to know what it's going to cost, and they'd get it done, and they'd have the certainty. Right now, there is no certainty. Right now, it's $18.8 million for this year. And then next year, if he doesn't engage, franchise tag. And then the year after that, franchise tag at a 20% raise. And then the year after that's the 44%. There's no way you're going to make that work increase. It's going to be $70, $80 million by the time you do these percentages. The numbers keep going up and up. So how different from the situation they had with Joe Flacco 9 years ago, where, he backed him into a corner, but at least he was represented by an agent. They sat down, they worked it out, they did what they had to do. They can't get him to do anything. And it's, hey, Chris, at some point, you just got to pivot to Tyler Huntley and say, hey, Tyler, you're not as good as Lamar. We know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. But at least we can get a contract put in place with you. And dollar for dollar, we're probably going to have a better deal than the way this thing's going to continue to spiral with Lamar Jackson. But he's hurting his leverage already by not having a deal in place because of what happened last year with the injuries, and he was less effective. He just needs. Why would he not hire an agent? He needs to hire an agent and get this damn thing done.
It's crazy. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. I really don't. Listen, representation, right? We just talked about a guy with Kyler Murray. There he is. He doesn't have nearly the pelts on the horse that Lamar Jackson does through year 3, and he's going to get a new contract this year because of representation, and they're being aggressive. The problem here is, with Lamar is this seems, status quo or par for the course, however you want to say it. This has gone down ever since the draft, not being able to get in contact with Lamar Jackson about anything. There's nobody. You can't get in there. It seems like him and his mother have things on lockdown. But, yeah, you're getting to the point here to me where you're going, you're endangering yourself, Lamar Jackson. You're endangering yourself. I am rooting for you. I want you to make as much money as possible. You've won an MVP. You've led a bunch of teams to the playoffs. You're a superstar. You're definitely one of the best players in the league. And there's more of an injury risk for Lamar Jackson. Let's just be serious with the way he plays. And he's getting to an age now finally where – exactly. And he's getting he's getting to an age now where, wear and tear is going to start to build up. You're going into, the sweet spot of your career. He's already taken some hits and all that. And I know he's amazing that way. But, between that and then, hey, we still want, growth on the field as far as continuing to be a better pocket passer and all of those things to go along with it. I don't understand the approach. I really don't. I don't understand if this is like some magical leverage play, or is it just like, hey, we'll figure it out when we figure it out. I really don't. I can't make sense of it. But for Lamar Jackson, man, I'd like to see him get representation, or at least just call the Ravens and get this going and get it going, not only for your own security, but something we talk about and what you kind of alluded to. It's hard for the Ravens to build the rest of their team when they don't know if they're going to have to pay Lamar right now or when it's going to happen. We heard Nick Caserio talk about this the other day. You got Watson in this bucket, the rest of the other guys here, and he's trying to do his best to make the team, but there is this other bucket here that's, a big issue. And I think that's the same thing here with Baltimore. What can you do? You got to be careful about what you're going to spend, because all of a sudden Lamar might come to the table in the middle of April and go, oh, let's get it done. And then that's where it's hurting the team. It's hurting himself. And I really don't understand it.
Eric DeCosta also said, I think it takes two sides to actively put their heads together and get a deal worked out. That is the most diplomatic way he can say, we just can't get this guy's attention. And I remember last year when the season started, Shefty had this myth building, oh, he's so focused on football, he doesn't have time to negotiate. That's baloney, and that's all the more reason to have an agent. If you don't have time to take care of the important aspects of your life because you're so focused on your professional exploits, that's all the more reason to hire somebody else to take care of the things you don't have time for. And now he's got time for it, and he's not doing it. That was just. I don't know who was behind that or why that got put out there, but that was clearly BS. It wasn't that he was focused on football. It's that he's never been focused on this contract for whatever reason. Whether it is some sort of deliberate strategy or he just doesn't know where to begin, he doesn't want to be bothered with it, it stresses him out. He's already lost money, I believe, by not hiring an agent, and he's going to run the risk of losing more because he's going to end up on this de facto Kirk Cousins path where, because he was a first-round pick, he's got 7 years before he forces his way to market. 7 years. He's got 3 more seasons to play. Is he really going to be a high-end franchise quarterback 3 seasons from now? I'm not so sure.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.